housekeeping notes. Please put your devices on a silent mode as a courtesy to your fellow audience. All the sessions today would be live streamed and recorded and made available after the event. If you have any issues with your headset, please raise your hand and someone will come over to help. We're going to start our first session today, from firefighting to foresight, powering autonomy and innovation. With that, please welcome Yadi to the stage.
A few years ago, I was leading an engineering and operations team. We were responsible for managing a critical system. This system was used by millions of users. This was a very fragile system. What it meant was that we used to have frequent issues. And every time there's an issue, there would be chaos, war rooms, long calls. Every team which was part of the war room had their own piece of information. And joining all these pieces of information at the time when every second was critical was a task by itself. And I used to wonder back then, there has to be a better way. What if these systems are not just sending us alerts? What if these systems are giving us real root cause? What if these systems can even fix an issue even before we know it? Now that's the shift what we are here to talk about today. From firefight to foresight, from chaos to clarity. Let's see how we get there. I'll skip this. Now my name is Yadi. I'm the field CTO at Datadog, and I've spent the last 20 years in tech leading engineering teams, building large-scale systems, and I've also worked with several enterprises, helping them build their observability strategy. A warm welcome to all of you. I know this is a bit noisy place, but I hope this is going to be a fun one. Now, before I get deeper into this conversation, I want to take you through a quick safe harbor disclaimer. As Datadog is a publicly listed company, I'm going to make statements about our product and strategy which are subject to material risk and could differ from our expectations. Now, this is the real test for people. Have you missed an alert? Raise your hand. Right. Have you missed an alert which had costed you a lot of financial penalty? In 2023, British Telecom had a massive outage with their 999 emergency call. What it meant was that nearly 14,000 users couldn't connect to BT, trying to make 999 call. Now this resulted in BT paying a hefty fine of £17.5 million. Now, there were several reasons why this issue happened. Now, one of the reasons what they found out was that BT lacked the ability to prioritize and really focus on what mattered. In other words, there were signals, but it was lost in the noise. Now, this is the risk we carry when our systems are flooded with noise, right? Now, most of us know this stat. It's a well-published Gartner study which says that the average cost of downtime is around $5,600 per minute. It's what, 300K per hour, and we can do the math. How much does it would cost? Now this is just an average, right? Many of you are working from large enterprises. For the enterprises, this could be in millions, right? Now, here is the thing. Most of these costs are not necessarily due to the issue itself, but it's the time it takes to identify and fix the issue. Now, we all know that when there's an issue, there's a direct cost. Transaction blocks. People cannot perform basic operations, right? That's the money out of the door. then you are now spending too much time trying to stabilize your platform, which means you're not able to ship enough software on time. So there's missed opportunities there. Now, because our teams are spending more time on war room, there's more operational overhead, right? What about our customers? Are we thinking about our customers, right? Dissatisfied customers silently churn without even telling us, right? And most importantly, one major issue or a delayed response can severely impact our brand, right? So the first question comes to our mind: why is it challenging? This shouldn't be easy, right? We have AI, we have all sort of magical technologies. Now, we all know the benefits of building our applications using modern IT systems. How many of you here are building systems, engineers, I mean? Raise your hand. Yeah, okay, great. Now we all know the benefits of these systems. They help us build systems faster. You can respond quickly to changing business needs. You can build scalable platforms, but comes at a cost of complexity, right? What is this complexity? Complexity in the form of the way we deploy our software, the architectural components we use, like microservices, the third-party systems we leverage. Now, so as a result, we have now siloed signals, fragmented visibility, right, and real lack of coordination when it matters most, which means we still have that problem which we are trying to fix, which is how do we quickly identify and fix an issue that still stays. Now, the next problem we have is, how many of you are familiar with Datadog? Raise your hand. Okay, a lot of hands. Now, today, getting the data is not a problem, right? We have too much of it. We have data everywhere: logs, metric, traces, events. The real challenge we have is we don't know where to focus. Now, in trying to solve this complexity, what are we trying to do? Each team is trying to build their own tools. DevOps team has their own set of tools. Operations team has the different tools. SRE teams have their own tools. Everyone is trying to look at a very small, fragmented view of this problem, which means nobody is having an end-to-end context. So what happens here? We end up having manual analysis because we don't have an end-to-end view, and our time to identify and resolve issue takes longer. So instead of trying to reduce the overhead, we have created more in the form of tool sprawl, in the form of chaos and lack of clarity. So the next obvious question is, how do we solve this complexity? So the answer is not having more alerts, right? The answer is not trying to have more tools. It is about having a smarter system which can help us cut through this noise, right? We are collecting too much of data. How can it reduce the noise and give us that signal? How can it help us identify the root cause and then notify the relevant team with this contextual information so that they take corrective actions on time, right? And shouldn't how the modern incident management response should be? Like, how many of you are dealing with incidents here? Okay. Okay. Talking about smart systems, if you look at Datadog as a platform, we have been on this path of innovation where we have added more and more capabilities. We started as a core observability platform focusing on core pillars, but now we have more and more capabilities such as security, product analytics, cloud service management, etc. Now, as a result of our innovation, we were named as the leader for 2024 Gartner Magic Quadrant. Not just for observability, we are also being named as leaders for digital experience management. Now, thousands of customers in ANZ rely on Datadog to innovate. Now, you are familiar with some of these logos. How many of you are from one of these companies here? Okay. Thank you. Now, as you can see here, we cut across different verticals. Now, I have something very exciting to share today. Datadog has sites all across the globe, and today I'm excited to announce that we are opening a new site in Sydney. This is going to be live very soon. What it means is that now all that capabilities which is available for Datadog all across the other sites will be available for us in Sydney real time. So now the next question you may be asking to yourself, or maybe you want to ask me, is that why is Datadog in the unique position to handle this issue? So one of the key strengths of Datadog is the ability to collect data from every layer of your technical stack at a very granular level. And we are not just collecting the data, we are also automatically correlating. Now, some of you might be wondering here, how these discrete set of data sets which have no relationship, how are we combining them and building a relationship? I would request you to come to our booth, talk to one of our engineers, and we'll be able to give you an in-depth answer how we do this behind the scene. So what does it mean for you? It means that when there is an issue, Datadog is connecting the dots for you, right? So it shows what changed, it shows what happened, and it'll also tell you what other systems are impacted. Now, this is not enough, isn't it? This is just what is happened. Datadog also uses AI for action. Now, Datadog has a built-in AI engine which is included in the platform. It's known as Watchdog. It's constantly watching at all the metrics, all the data which you are providing to Datadog, and then it tries to find out the root cause automatically, even without you writing a single configuration. What it means is that Watchdog can find out the unknown of unknowns. Now, once you identify this issue, it also provides you the root cause of the problem. Now, what does it mean for you? It means that now I can really find out the root cause even without me writing a manual alerts, right? Which takes a lot of time. And these alerts, you can't keep up with them. You need to constantly update. Now, we just don't stop at the performance level. We also provide you the cost-saving recommendation, which means that when you are trying to build a system, we also tell you how efficiently you can run your system. Now, that is one step, right? We found out automatically the issue. We know the root cause, but that doesn't mean that we have solved the issue, right? There are other steps. What are those steps? So it means now with all these contextual information, I need to send it to the right team so that they can coordinate with the other team members, because you have your own processes, right? And then they can remediate the issue quickly. And that is what we do with our AI Ops. We build all these capabilities around observe, orient, and act. And most excitingly, we have wrapped all these features under one capability called Bits Autonomous Agent. It's like having an on-call engineer working alongside with you. Okay? So it's an AI agent working with you. Now, Bits AI also enables you to use natural language to query any information in the system. And I'll show you all this later. So let's see a simple example. Okay, this is my famous application, a portal where I'm just trying to buy a product, a fancy duvet, but this is what happens, right? And I'm sure this has happened to all of us. So now let's see how we can solve this, find out why this is happening. Now, firstly, we need to observe the service, right? Now, how many of you are using any observability platform or have using monitoring platform? You know the steps, you know the drill, right? What you do, you go after every piece of information. First, you look at your infrastructure layer, or you look at your log, you look at your error patterns. You want to really find out what could be the cause, right? Or you look at your traces. Now here, we can see in the traces that there's a checkout error. When I double click it, it clearly tells me that there is a third-party payment API gateway error, right? Now you might say, what is special? This is still reactive, isn't it? So let's change this. And this is where the component which I was talking about some time ago, which is the watchdog, comes into play. Watchdog will automatically find out the root cause for you, because watchdog is constantly monitoring at every information which you're sending. So here, as you can see, the watchdog has picked up a code change which has resulted in, a checkout error. Okay. So now we know that, okay, the reason was there was a code change. Sorry. Now the next step is, okay, now we know that there's a problem. What do we do? Do we want to alert everyone in the team? Right? And that's what the whole problem is, right? It gets lost in the noise. And that's where our event correlation engine comes into picture. We will correlate all the events specific to your checkout, group them together so that you can prioritize and create a case. Okay. Now you might say, you know what? I not just having my own events. There are third-party events, right? Because eventually you will have a lot of other source of truth. It doesn't matter. You can still bring in your third-party system events to Datadog, okay? It doesn't matter. For example, you may have a legacy network tool, and it has some signals which you want to correlate. You can correlate that easily with Datadog. Now, we have all this information. We have grouped them, all of them together in a case. Now, let's time for us to create a case. Right? That's where the Datadog on-call feature comes into play, because now we know what faulty service is contributing to this issue. We know who is on roster to on-call, right? And we can page them. Not just we are just sending them an alert, we are also giving them all the contextual information now, right? And now this is for those people who have that, do a troubleshooting exercise at 3 a.m. in the morning, right? And that's where Bits AI is one of our friends. It's like working alongside with you, providing you all the information with respect to that incident. So you use that chat facility, you ask Bits AI, it will give you all the information, what caused it, what is even it will recommend you what is the possible fix for it, right? So we have narrowed down the problem. We have grouped, cut the noise with the event correlation. Now we have also identified the right person. We have also shared them with the context. We also have a friend here, which is Bits AI, who is helping us with all the information, not just the information, it also tells us what's the next step you can do. Now, it's time to resolve the incident, right? So how do we do that? again, Bits AI comes into picture. Bits AI is not just telling you how to fix it, it also tells you, hey, in this case, it's telling you, hey, this is the code fix you can apply, right? So it's the next level where just see the power. Yeah. So now I know what to fix as well. Okay. Now you have to take action. How do you take action? That's where again you use Datadog's workflow engine, right? So with the workflow engine, now you can decide what is your next step. Do you want to roll back or you want to scale out? Whatever appropriate action specific to fixing this checkout error. Right? And this is again, by the way, there's no coding, it's all, a low code solution. Now, you still miss one important step in your incident resolution. What is that? Any SREs here? Yeah, okay. The most critical step, which is the last step, is postmortems, right? Because and the best part is Datadog will do this automatically for you. It will generate the whole postmortem, all the steps we have taken, all the steps recommended by Bits AI. Okay, so this is a very tedious process, but it's done automatically. Just see the power here, right? Now, with all this, hopefully, the customer can now buy the product. In this case, this fancy duvet, right? So observe, orient, and act. Now, so what is the? Let's summarize this, right? What are the benefits for us? First of all, we are now finding out root cause automatically, right? Without really going through all these noisy signals. Now, we are not spending too much time on war room. That means operational overhead. We are also looking at cost aspect, which means you're not running your systems with huge cloud cost. And there's one more important part, which is, again, I touched this briefly before, that Datadog also does security part. We also look for your cloud configurations. We also look for any misconfiguration, which means it could be a potential breach in the future, but we can now prevent that, right? So finally, it's more performing and resilient system. So how did we do that? Very simple. Cut the noise, connect with the right teams with the contextual information so that they can follow the process and fix the issues. Right? This is one of the reference from one of our customers, Texies. They were able to bring down their alert noise by 69%. Right? And at the time when there is a crisis, the noise cancellation itself is an important win. Now, what I have covered today is a very small fraction of what we can do with our AI ops. There are more exciting features which are coming up, which will be announced as part of our annual conference. I would request you to register for it. You will hear more exciting announcements around AI and AI ops, what we are doing. Now, many of you will have a lot more technical questions, right? So I would request you, please come to our booth. We have a lot of engineers there, and we can have any queries on Datadog, we will be able to answer to you. And also, it's a chance for you to win some goodies, is what my team is saying. So thank you so much. This has been great. I hope we'll get more caffeinated now after this session. Thank you.